I haven't seen that one.
It was so real. Let me tell you, it stank.
Well, I mean, the whole business was obviously exciting and terrifying.
I was very much going for Malevolent Circus.
Hello and welcome to the episode commentaries for Murder for Dummies. Today we are covering the first episode, Victim, where we meet Keith and learn all about his tragic death. My name is James Hamilton. I am the writer and creator of Murder for Dummies, and I am joined by a few of the people who helped make the show, including...
Hi, my name's Beth Eyre. I play Susan Finagle, Henry Dedson's close friend.
Hi, my name is Odinn Orn Hilmarsson, and I did the music and some of the sound business stuff.
Hello, I'm Lucy Farrett, and I play Esther Farrago, who made this whole documentary.
Exactly,
Impressive.
The documentary maker turned detective. And we are going to be doing episode commentaries of all 6 episodes of Murder for Dummies with a variety of people who help make the show with us. But as I said, today we are covering episode 1, and we're going to launch straight into it, which is very exciting, and share our thoughts of like how the process was, ask each other questions, find out more about how something like this could have ever even had permission to get made. Here we go.
All right, here we go.
We didn't have any permission. There we go. Question
of course
answered.
Ask for forgiveness later.
So yes, Lucy, go on.
Okay, we're in.
I have never ever heard this tongue twister that Henry is doing. Goblet gear. Is he saying goblet gear, goblet gear?
He's saying gottle of gear because like that's the thing that if it's for some reason I think it's like an in-joke for like ventriloquist dummies because they can't say bottle of beer because they can't pronounce their B's.
Oh my
So
god!
it's
Awesome.
gottle of gear, which is like a ventriloquist dummy.
It's supposed to be hard to say the B without moving your mouth. So.
I'm so glad I asked that question.
Yeah. It's like straight in fantastic ventriloquism in joke that just
It's really it's I think the first draft of this particular episode started literally at this point we're watching now, where it's kind of leaning into the crime documentary straight away, maybe having the 999 call happen at the beginning, and then my writing partner James Huntrods, I work with on other things, when I sort of sent him for his feedback, it was his suggestion to kind of put the dummy stuff right at the beginning, which I loved because I think it just sells the like, okay, we're watching a ventriloquist dummy be interviewed, you're getting that weirdness straight away,
and it sets up the documentary making kind of framing as well. I think it sort of it means that you go straight in and you see the production isn't invisible, so you see that you are watching a film crew putting together the show, and I think that it's very important to set that up very very early on.
Yeah. Odinn, your theme music for this obviously is just like so fucking
incredible,
spellbinding.
Wonderful.
It's just like everybody, I think it's a combination of this, and obviously James Roberts, our director, put together the kind of opening credits for this.
Fantastic.
We got a lot of like Dexter comments, I think, for both the music and the intro.
Wow, yes.
Which I think wasn't a reference for James because he's never seen Dexter.
And I haven't seen it in a very long time.
Yeah.
I don't know if the music, I can't remember what the theme tune is, but
I think it's not. I don't think we even gave it to you as a reference either.
No,
it does feel like it evokes that very Dextery vibe.
I think it was I was very much going for Malevolent Circus. I think.
Yeah, I think we gave you the Murder for not the Murder for Dummies theme, obviously the Only Murders in the Building theme as a reference at one point. Because good.
Yes, that's great.
I have had somebody come up to me afterwards and say it sounds very much like the Taskmaster incidental music, and at the time I had not watched Taskmaster. I've actually watched it since, and I really enjoy it. But yeah, the sort of zither, that very kind of plinky plonky thing is very kind of very similar to the Taskmaster theme tune, but it pure accident, I promise.
Yeah. I think that's nice. It's like, I think obviously kind of everyone's sort of drawing from the same pond musically when they're trying to think about stuff like that has that kind of like campy murdery vibe, I guess, in some way or whatever. It's like light-hearted murder. It has a little bit of that like twinkle to it. I really love Ian's performance, Ian,
He's-
who plays
he's
Stephen
incredible.
Trent,
So
all
good.
of this. Lucy, you were there, obviously working with him like on that day, because you were like for almost everybody's interviews, you were literally there.
Yeah, I mean,
doing the
I
interview
think
stuff.
basically for every single interview, yeah. And I think actually Luke Boys couldn't be there on this day.
Yeah, to help
So
the
I
people,
ended
yeah.
up doing a little bit of acting direction as well, as you asked me to, because I was behind the camera. And that was so lovely to work with Ian. Ian, who is a massive Casual Violence fan and was like just giddy with excitement.
I know. I really wanted him
yeah.
to come and do commentary for this episode, because especially so we could talk about how big a fan he is. But
Yeah.
fan those egos. But he
Yeah.
he is doing a play at the moment, so he couldn't join us.
Oh.
Of course.
Good
This
on
is
him.
fantastic.
Of course, but he's wonderful, and I think it's what I really like about his character in this is that he's playing it obviously very straight, but the jokes are just on that edge of weird, where you're getting that sense of like he's a strange man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Increasingly, you sort of feel like he's coming across as a very weird person, even though the whole time he's playing it like I'm just a normal bloke.
And
But
I feel like he also is there to provide that everyday character who was a massive fan of ventriloquism. You don't not
Right.
just Darren, who's the massive fan.
Yeah.
But you have the everyday person. So it kind of grounds that in the world as well, really well.
Totally.
I think that's the thing. I think we really wanted it to feel like, it is, especially because obviously he's a retired detective. Actually, I'm going to go back to this moment in a second and highlight it. But
Of course.
because there's something specific we did here. But yeah, like I think it really helps ground that. Make it feel like a real true crime documentary, because he's playing the retired police detective. He's playing it in a way that you completely buy, and it just gives you, especially after the initial bit that's so weird, you've got that little in for like his I guess that he gives you into this world. So it's the Pornhub screen.
Yes.
So I had a very very fun day
Yes.
trying to come up with and crowdsource names for porn films
Wow.
that would be in here. My favorite by far is Human-Sized Ventriloquist Dummy Fucks Orphan.
I haven't seen that one.
That's so awful.
It's awful.
I'd
but
never
also,
seen that before. Wow.
It's also my
I
favorite by far.
I don't care to rest on this page, James.
That's fair enough. We'll move on.
And it's all thanks to Keith Flapp. He redefined the medium.
And so this is Alex.
Alex doing great work. I think Alex is doing fantastic work. And Amy as well, of course.
Amy as well, and I think like what's so nice with both of them. I mean, especially for Amy, is you're kind of getting that is laying that groundwork very early on for like, oh, this person could have committed this murder.
Yeah.
But every single, the casting, like fantastic of all that. I mean, as I would say to you every time we would film, because I was just watching everyone so much, asking questions. Everyone was cast so well, and it's something actually I wanted to say. I don't know if everyone realizes that everyone who is acting, this was all in one day. Every character got there one day to film every single bit. So here Claire is doing her episode 1 segments, but after this she moved on to her episode 2, and so on. And I think that's would always I find extraordinary, sitting there asking the questions, is I just get to sit and watch people spool through the emotions of this entire thing. And I'd be like, wow, this is like watching theatre. But it was fantastic.
It must have been very cool. I was really sad I wasn't there for any of
Sorry.
most of them. I was there for a couple of them. You weren't there for this one though, Lucy, but Dave from Casual Violence, who plays Dickie Rolex, and
Which one?
I think for Beth, right? For
I
when
was
Beth
there.
Lucy was.
Oh,
very
Lucy was
much
there as
in.
well. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Lucy. My mistake. You were there. I think there was one in my head. I remember you weren't there for.
I think
Luke
I
wasn't there for
didn't
this
do.
one.
I think I didn't do some of Luke's, but I was there for the start of Luke's.
Right, got it. But for this one, of course you were there for this because you're in episode 2 with Beth.
Yeah,
but
You'll see me in a minute at some
But I
point.
think Beth, it's like having to learn to do ventriloquism for this, or learn to at least operate the dummies. You're not having to throw your voice because that's Tom Tuck's voice. But actually, getting Sean to teach you puppetry as an experience must be like a fun thing to add to the spotlight page, at least.
Yeah, it was incredible. I mean, the whole business was obviously exciting and terrifying because it's a whole new thing. But Sean is so incredible at everything. He's wonderful at ventriloquism. He makes it look easy. It is not easy. And it was brilliant to get a little bit of a tutorial with him. Me and Dave had a sort of session with him, and then I just practiced so much, but it's really hard, and he makes it look so easy, and I so wanted it to look as good as possible.
You can see him in this, and it's just like he's so good with
him
fungo.
go.
Yeah, fluid, yeah. But I thought Beth...
Yes.
But Beth, you did great, I thought. I mean, genuinely.
Somewhere, but I think it would take me years to get good at it, although I think Lucy is also very good at it.
Well,
you buy it.
Well, you guys can chat on that, yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, I only have a small moment. What I thought you did so well, Beth, is because Henry's got such sass and attitude. When he's like digging at you, he coming at you, like the way you moved him to come at you. Shut it, Susan! Like, just so good. And even like the picking of, I just like, give yourself a lot of credit because you make it. You
really bring that character to life. You're doing two characters at once.
Like you're doing the voice as well. Like it's so believable.
It was really fun to do. Oh wow, look.
Lovely Susan Harrison.
Susan Harrison.
Yeah,
fantastic.
So this was, I think, a pitch that Dave Arundel had really early on when we were developing this, was to have like a dummy sentience expert, and literally just it was just exactly that joke. And this is the thing that I love working with Casual Violence for, is that like they will come up with like these very weird, specific little jokes that do just then elevate the whole thing. I mean, people, especially just like as Sally Ricketts keeps coming back, like people, especially when we did like the premiere and whenever we've screened it publicly, people have sort of responded to that so well every time. And it's just been, it's just like one of those really stupid little jokes that then by putting it in and giving it that space to kind of build, really kind of adds then an extra sort of layer and dimension.
But also because she's like, even though she's an expert, she's like the audience, like obviously can't do all this stuff. Absolutely. So it's just fun that she's there because you're going, of course, just to make sure everyone's like, oh yeah, of course, dummies can't actually do these things. You as the writer know that.
It is just like having to, I guess, play. We talked a lot about kind of the line of ambiguity that we have made, that we do, I think, maintain even pretty much with everything that happens. I mean, I think there is a definitive answer to it, but like playing whether or not dummies are actually sentient, and I think people who've watched it have kind of answered. I kind of don't want to answer definitively what the question is on this, but like I think there is a definitive answer, and I think the nice thing is that even with everything that happens later in the show, without any spoilers, you sort of maintain that ambiguity for a really long time. And I think Susan and Sally Ricketts are so important with like holding on to that other side of it, like counterbalancing how sentient the dummies feel. Malloy Mangle, who's obviously coming up with they're talking about now, is another example of one of those kinds of jokes from the group, because I really early on when we were developing this, I was talking a lot about the Jinx, which was like a big influence in terms of like a true crime documentary for this, and thinking about, the thing that's so weird to me about the Jinx is that you have this one person who is so clearly guilty and looks guilty, and you don't want to say that someone looks like a murderer, but Robert Durst absolutely looks like a murderer, and he's got these like shark eyes, and he's like a weirdo, and he gives you the creeps when you look at him. And I remember very specifically pitching to the group is like, I really want a character like that, somebody who is a total creep, but everybody else in the documentary is the same as with Robert Durst, is like, he's the loveliest man. He would never do something like this. He's my best friend. He's a great guy. And I asked for a pitch, and Alex suggested Live-In Butcher.
Amazing.
As a very
one of the funniest
Yeah.
character professions
Noel
ever.
Edmonds wasn't available. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's great.
Yes.
And it just unlocks it. And Greg is so good at this. Look at him.
Yeah, Greg's
Greg
fantastic.
is so
at this.
good,
Yeah,
and it's a
amazing.
whole other level because he's vegan.
Yeah.
And this is real, isn't it? This is all just
Great
meat.
catch.
Yeah, it is real meat.
Oh, Beth,
Yeah.
it was so real. Let me
Okay.
tell you, it stank.
Greg.
Look
I'm
at
so
him
glad I
go,
wasn't
that, bless that vegan man.
I
You
mean,
can't question his commitment.
No,
He was
to the bit.
incredible. And this was the first character and first day of filming?
First
Or
thing we
maybe-
ever shot,
Yeah.
it was good because he was just about to have a kid, and that's unfortunately why he's not joined us for this episode. He literally a couple of weeks ago has just had a second baby. So
Congratulations.
This
but yeah,
commentary
that
is
was the first
dedicated
thing.
to that newborn child.
But yeah, his performances. Greg has always been so good. I mean, his performances are so detailed in like everything he does, and it's almost kind of infuriating because he gave up. Like, I think it's before we'd even left university, he decided he didn't want to be a professional actor anymore. And so the only acting he's done in the last 15 years is with casual violence on stage or in films, and then he'll just be this good, and it's
I think
amazing, but
there's
it's also like
something in that.
infuriating.
But there's
Yeah.
something up in that he's so relaxed, you know.
Mm.
Doesn't matter. Like he could play and just sit in it for a day.
Yeah, like Daniel Day-Lewis. He'll just sort of come in, come out, go into the woods, and
Yeah.
come back, deliver
me.
this role. Yeah.
I think
that's
with
fantastic.
Greg in this, the thing that really elevates it for me, and you see this more in the second episode, but like here he's obviously coming across very menacing, but as it goes on, the more time you spend with him, and this was not in any way kind of written in for the character, but like he's charming.
Yeah.
Like at one point, if I'd been available, I think when we were trying to figure out casting early, we were discussing whether or not I would play Malloy.
Oh,
And I think
really?
I could have played Malloy, but I think I would have just leaned into the creepy Malloy. And what I love about Greg doing it is that like he's charming. You end up really liking him and just sort of getting over how creepy he is. And so in a way, it almost has the opposite effect of what we intended, because then people are like, oh, he is a nice guy.
He's got this like old school gent like vibe to him
Right.
as well. That just like he's like a gentleman to all his friends. Like you could just tell. Like he's like very something about his delivery is quite old fashioned. Which is lovely.
Yeah, and he feeds his guests. He's got
yeah.
manners. He's got good manners. He's a good man. He is an
does,
old school gent for sure. Yeah.
This whole thing of like there being more than one layer to how Keith died, it came from, I think, playing this is really specific, but the Phoenix Wright video games are like where you play like a defense lawyer and you're trying to solve murders. There's a couple of those where like they do this thing quite a lot where it's like it seems like they've been killed this way, but actually they've been killed this whole other way. And that felt really fun for the structure we were doing, where we want to make everybody seem guilty, is that we wanted to see, and we didn't quite do this as much as I think we initially thought, but like how many times we can kind of pull that rug of like, did he die this way? Oh no, actually he died this way. Oh no, actually he died this way. Like I think we wanted to see how many different ways we could sort of set up the idea that he might have died. And oh, bless him, look at him go. I think it's like that you really buy that he is genuinely trying to help Keith. Absolutely, yeah, of course. Of course, that's why I
to
did
be
that. What
helpful.
other possible reason would I have sent him? Would I have sent
Upcoming
him that?
joke I also really love with the handwriting.
Oh yes.
Yeah, and
It's
so this
incredibly
is
silly.
Another great cameo coming up.
Yeah.
Here we are.
eight.
Was in the same day as Greg. He's amazing.
Yes.
But he's so good, and it's just so kind of him to come and do this. I think it's like I think David worked with him on something before years ago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very good.
Very enjoyable.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Okay.
here we
Oh, here we
go.
go. We want to hear about this scene, Lucy.
We're approaching the one shot, everyone.
Yeah.
We did this so many times.
Yeah.
It looks incredible.
The human traffic duty joke is maybe my favorite joke in the episode and one of my
Yeah,
favorite jokes.
that is actually really that's a
very
very good.
He delivers
very
it
good
so
joke.
innocently. It's great.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think because the wording is a bit clunky, I wrote it as like I wasn't sure it would actually work. It's like it felt like a little cumbersome on the page, but he does deliver it beautifully.
So this was like a dance. This was a total dance here because of like and so specific. Drink the water. Look at this, look at that. And Chris Stone on the camera, what you'll see is his focus in and focus out is brilliant because he'll start focusing in on the wall. But we did it a few times to give options for how we could do the special effects for how how Richard Prent dies, basically. And we kept trialing a few different options. I think there was like a few blood pack things that didn't quite work as well. So what you end up with is incredible special effects from James Roberts, director James Roberts.
Yeah, so director's also like an incredible VFX artist, and there's so many little details in how Prent dies that you can just sort of see it affect like his whole face. Yeah. And James always sort of really goes like above and beyond. And sometimes you have debates where I'm like, you don't need to be doing this much. And arguably he didn't, and it still would have worked. But when you really appreciate like the amount of details that's in there, it's like, but then also it really does look spectacular.
Real stuff, because that scar is Drabina's makeup, fantastic. That scar looks so brilliant. Yeah,
it does.
So you can start seeing go like his eyes are already getting bloodshot.
Yeah.
And he's starting to go kind of pale.
Blew a bit around the mouth.
Yeah.
How?
That's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's so good.
amazing. Yeah. Amazing.
So it's those really small details that do just then come in really early. And I heard this was like in terms of trying to make it all work in one shot.
I think.
Oh, and James, you got a cameo as the other person on the end of the line to Lucy.
Yes, like a brief little voice cameo. That's me. I don't even know if you can hear me.
No, I put you very low.
I know you could. You were mixing the sound, but
yeah. But I think that was it. I think he was gonna have a blood pack thing in his mouth,
little capsule,
and it was just really hard to do it and get it right and looking great. So we ended up having an option which James could work with special effects, which is what has been gone for. It looks great.
It looks amazing. Every time I watch it, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, it's so good. I think this is one of my favorite bits. The sort of the little roundup of all the people who are so guilty, and the music here as well. I think it's just.
I love James.
Dickie Rolex is like I didn't think I would ever care as much about Dickie on the page. Again, credit to Dave, like I ended up doing, and I really wish there was more of him in this episode now. It's like if I knew how Dickie was going to come out, it's like I really would have put a bit more of Dickie in this. But you get this fun little roundup of everyone. Beth, I really love just, again, it's like that moment between you and Henry where it's like, what else are you keeping from me, Henry? And he tells you off. And I can't remember who pitched the joke. I don't know if it was me or not, but Henry having a bank account.
Yeah.
It's very funny to me. Like, and this thing of like Luke saying that the detective was just like texting him, "Did you kill your dad? Did you kill your dad?" I love so much because again, it's just like it just tells you that Richard Prent is a very weird man, even though he comes across incredibly.
Even though we like him,
he's really basic. Did you kill your dad?
Just hoping one day he'll get like a, oh yeah, I did actually. Like I'll break him one day.
Oh, I love that look. Oh, that's so
good. Yeah.
Oh, and Sean. I mean, we've talked about Sean a bit, but like, I just think, I don't know how you managed to find a guy who would convincingly look like he'd work both in a working men's club as a ventriloquist and was actually a fantastic actor and actually incredible puppeteer and actually a great ventriloquist. Like, the full package. is
Yeah,
How
did that come about?
I got incredibly lucky with this. So there's a writer I know called Beth Eyre who I was working with on Gentry Chow versus the Underworld, and she's based in London. So I met up with her when I was coming to visit, and this is like early on in like pre-production, I think, and I was telling her about the show, and I was just saying like I needed to find a ventriloquist, and in my head thinking I just need somebody to teach Beth and Dave, and then whoever was going to play Keith, which I think at one point we talked about Greg playing Keith. We hadn't made a kind of concrete decision about it. And she was like, oh, I know a ventriloquist, because she went to drama school. So of course she knows a ventriloquist. And so she introduced me to Sean. And we did just get incredibly lucky, because I think originally we were just like, I need someone who can teach how to operate these puppets. And what we got is like, total package. Like, the look of him, he's just like, it just absolutely feels like he was around in the 80s and 90s.
Completely.
Doing this. There's people talk about that thing and like people knowing what an iPhone is, right? And he clearly doesn't know what an iPhone is. Like, and I think you buy that from him in like a really lovely way. And on top of that, there is the fact he obviously has taught you, Beth, and taught Dave how to operate the dummies. He did some, I won't spoil where, in case people haven't watched other episodes, but he did some of the puppeteering for later moments as well. And he's just like the loveliest man in the whole world. He's just like, really is like total package. And we genuinely like couldn't have got luckier finding Sean. I think he just checked so many boxes.
He really does.
For us. He's just such an incredible performer. I really love like where those end credits work as well. Like Roberts did such a good job with those. They look really just the eyes opening. And
that's so wonderful. So wonderful.
Yeah, it's just such a good little thing. I think he always had like such a specific vision for like what he wanted for those, and it was one of those things where I'm not sure. Again, it's like I feel like the conversation I have with him a lot is like, we don't need that. You don't need to be adding all these other things. We can have a much simpler version of this that will be fine and put less work on you, and he will just go ahead and do the thing anyway, and you have to be like, okay, that was actually
pretty good. Right.
Actually did a really good job there. But yeah, so that's episode 1. So does anyone have any takeaways, any other thoughts or specific things that pop up in the episode they want to throw in before we wrap up?
I guess I'm interested in, it's such a wonderful thing when you work with casual violence and get to sort of know people and see them in different roles. And you said that there was a point where, James, I was thinking about you being Malloy, and Greg being Keith Flapp. Was it easy to cast the other members of Casual Violence? How did that, was it instant?
I think so, a little bit. The others are pretty straightforward. I think Luke always, I think, not just thrives, but I just obviously know from working with him, like prefers to do characters that can lean a bit more grounded, have that sort of slightly meatier level to them, because, he's an actor. This is what he's doing. He wants to like have those roles where you've got that opportunity to really kind of lean into that. And so I think early on, it's like, okay, there's something really grounded, but with that room for escalation, it's going to work really well for Tom Flapp. So I think Luke was always Tom. Darren Wound was so specifically written for Alex. And like, I think it's just very much
he's got that sparky enthusiasm that has Darren all over him.
But I think like, I mean, everybody does such incredible work, but I think I was, because we've worked with Casual Violence for such a long time, I think the thing that, I hope this doesn't come across as like a backhanded compliment, it's like, I thought I knew how good everyone was, and everyone was better in this than I've ever seen them be. I think it's partly because Luke and you, Lucy, were there like for so much of it, and I think you guys had such a lot of input in everybody's performances, and it really made such a difference, I think, to how detailed everything is, because Alex as Darren gives, especially like in later episodes, I think he's very good at playing the like, I'm the sort of like chirpy, happy guy, and I've got that slightly eccentric, quirky energy. And then there's plenty of stuff we've done on stage before where he has that, he hits the vulnerability and has the deeper layer. But there's moments in like episodes 3 and 4 where you really see that sort of extra side to Darren come out, and it's really like, it's the best thing I've ever seen him do. It's so impressive. And Dave as well, like, I think he was always going to be Dickie Rolex, and I just really, Dickie, I think, became so many people's favorite character, and he absolutely is my favorite. Sorry to all of you, but he's my favorite character.
He's a great character.
He's amazing.
He's one of mine.
He's just like, and just the nuance he sort of throws into it again. It's like, I felt like, oh yes, Dave will be able to play this. This leans into Dave's strengths as an actor. And same as with Greg, I think Dave just gave him so many dimensions that genuinely I didn't think were in the script. Like dimensions that I just cannot take credit for that are in the writing. And that's 100% what you want, right? Is to really feel like, okay, this is elevating.
But
what's on the
also,
page.
like you say, you can't take credit for it is in the writing, like James. Like it is the characters are very clear and well rounded, and it is in the writing as well. So you're gifting people characters that they can work with, and yes, imprint their own person onto them, which will elevate them to different ways that you hadn't thought about. But it's because they have the very, very, very solid foundation. So take the credit.
Yeah.
No,
it's
well.
nice. And it's like, I was glad that, like, you know, it provided that foundation. It's funny, there is a weird little, I don't even remember where it came from, but there's a weird little casual violence in joke where Dave in particular, funnily enough, will describe the script as a gift. He'll be like, it's a gift. As like a thing that then elevates us. So it's funny that you use that particular wording. But,
it's maybe I got inside your heads, finally.
Any other like final thoughts on episode 1 before we wrap up?
Smashed it. Episode 1.
Yeah, it's good. It's episode 1. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think we didn't really mention Claire at all, but Claire is like so good in this, and I think again that was one of those things where she elevates it such a lot. I think she's, you know, in the same category as Alex for me, in that she's leaning into, you know, what starts out as like quite an eccentric character and is kind of leaning into that, like, oh, I'm just slightly away with the fairies, but then has that sort of darker layer that then is going to start to come through in later episodes.
And so believable as the ex-wife of Keith, and brilliant.
She's a fantastic character.
And you should go see her on Broadway, because that's where she is right now with Operation Mincemeat.
No way.
It's incredible.
That's pretty awesome.
I love that we're going to end this with a plug for their musical. But, you know what you should do now is spend a lot of money on tickets to Broadway. But you should, because Operation Mincemeat is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's so cool that they're doing that. So yeah, if you're in New York and you can go see things in Broadway, go see Operation Mincemeat. Claire's in it and she's amazing. Cool. Thank you guys. Really appreciate you joining us for episode 1. I think we'll be seeing all of you later for different episodes, but until then, thank you guys very much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.